Work, brother. I see
Andrew,
you.
what's
What's up, Daymond? How
happening?
are you, man?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm quarantined, but I'm great, man. This is like me being in the ocean right here. I put that on my TV, just trying to escape.
You know that's proven to be good for your frame of mind. Anything that makes you think you're exposed to nature, really. I mean, it's
Yeah,
fine.
I know. It makes me dream. It makes me dream. So for all those who, and I know we're tight on time, so I'm going to get right to, a couple of things here. I'm going to just really read because I wrote down a couple of things that people need to know. You founded Venture of America, a 2-year fellowship program for recent grads who wanted to work at a startup and create jobs in American cities, right? And what you inspired to create was this organization, where you made people aware and educate them on how to use this new changing technology. But at the same time, you want to educate people that it's coming and it's here, as we all know. I know that when you ran on giving people what was $1,000 a month
Yep,
people would make,
$1,000 a
right?
month, freedom dividend.
thousand
That's right.
dollars, about $1,000 a month for everybody because you understood about the challenges. Your book is "There Will Be Blood in the Streets," right? Sorry, there will.
No, it
The book.
might as well be called that. It's the war on normal people, and you
That's right.
know,
Because when you were talking, you was like, "There's going to be blood in the
yeah,
streets."
yeah, that's exactly. I mean, it's terrible, man. I mean, here, like you said, you hit the nail on the head when you said that we sped up. You know, it's like what would have
Yeah.
happened in 10 years has happened in 10 weeks.
And if people don't want to believe us, basically, I'm going to just read a couple of facts really quick. By 2030, up to 20 million manufacturing jobs around the world could be replaced by robots. That's Oxford Economics. A 2-year study from McKinsey Global Institute indicated that by 2030, intelligent agents and robots could replace 30% of the world's current labor force. And this one is the crazy one. McKinsey estimates that automation will displace 400 and up to 400, between 400 to 800 million jobs by 2030, requiring as many as 375 million people to switch job categories entirely. Now, what does that mean for people right now here listening? A lot of people think, and I know that you are a son of immigrants, and I am a son of another immigrant. A lot of people think those people come over here and take our jobs, but I haven't seen an immigrant at the airport when I check into a kiosk or when I go through a toll and all the toll booth clerks are no longer there. I haven't talked to an operator in 15 years because of Google, and I haven't talked to a travel agent because of Orbitz and Travelocity, and of course, tax agents. I mean, tax people who file taxes. You got TurboTaxes and things of that. Now, none of those are what people may call immigrants or low-end workers. So everybody is being replaced. And if the number one job for males in this country is operating heavy machinery in large trucks, but if those are going to become like Teslas and a bunch of automated, vehicles, what are people going to do? However, I don't ever want to say don't embrace technology because we can thrive off of technology. So what are your thoughts, Andrew?
Well, first, let me say that that Daymond John has been ahead of the curve on this. Like, he didn't come to it, yesterday. I talked to him about it years ago, and Daymond was like, "Yeah, this is coming, and we need to help people prepare." So Daymond gave a blurb for my book, New York Times bestseller. I'm trying to be like Daymond here, and also also
It's great. It's a good book. Yeah.
and also Daymond here and I met at the White House because we were both just trying to help entrepreneurs. And I thought that technology mowing down common jobs is something that entrepreneurs needed to know about. And one of the reasons why Daymond and I know this is true is that we've run companies, and when you run a company, you're just trying to get stuff done as efficiently as possible. So if someone comes to you with a tool, software, robot, whatever it is, and you're like, "All right, let's do it," and you know that at some point that's going to be negative for people who might have filled those jobs. So technology is accelerating right now. We do need to not be, well, I mean, I'm a little scared of it, but I was going to say, like, not be anti-technology or anti-progress, because a lot of this
Right.
stuff could be really helpful,
Yes.
especially in a time of a pandemic when, frankly, you kind of would prefer the delivery person not be a person. You kind of
Yeah.
prefer for the car just to come and drop the stuff off, and then you Like type it in and just
And you know what?
give it.
Maybe you prefer that, you can listen directly to me and you because this technology allowed people to listen directly to us and not only be captured by the 50 cable stations and regular stations that control the narrative due to the advertisers and their political stance. You can listen to anybody you want because of technology.
Yeah, so this curve though, it's rough, and I'm gonna like put it in two different ways. So everyone knows, or most people know, that I ran for president saying we should just start giving everyone money, which now seems like common sense because
Yeah.
literally you have tens of millions of Americans who got sent home. Like how are people going to provide for themselves? So that is the public response, and I'm convinced that if we're going to get out of this hole, there needs to be a massive government response, like giving us all money, you know, job creation programs up the wazoo, like whatever can be done in the public level. So to the extent that you're a political type, and if you're not, totally cool, but if you are, like, you want to bug your congressperson and say, hey, you know, putting money into people's hands is a good idea. Like, you know, that's one thing I personally think right now is the time, because they're literally figuring out how to distribute hundreds of billions of dollars. And why is it that these giant companies are getting sweetheart deals and the rest of us are like hoping to get our $1,200 stimulus check? So that's number one. But on a private level, you know, you have to try and become geared towards the things that the new marketplace demands. And one of the things that the new marketplace demands is trying to project value from further away, you know, which is painful because I'm someone who likes to just like go to someone, talk to them, meet them. Like if you're a talented, you name it, like hairdresser, yoga teacher, personal trainer, like, you know, you're used to being in front of people. But I'm seeing what's happening even in my own home. And like, I'm seeing my kids' teachers learn to project their teaching through a computer or through the phone. And I can tell that it's new for them. But that's the kind of adaptation that more and more people need to make because, like it or not, the economy is not just going to snap back to normal like a rubber band. We're going to be at this for a long time. It's going to affect us for a long time.
And I think you just made a good point, right? Only about a year ago, I said to my daughter, "Hey, I want to come to your school to visit you," and she said, "Okay." And I said, "Well, I want to come there Thursday." She said, "Well, I'm not in class Thursday." I was like, "What do you mean you're not in class Thursday?" She said, "I'm online." Right? And I said to myself, "I'm paying all that money for you to eat cold pizza, kiss nasty boys, and go online when you could be home, right?" And that's how a lot of Americans feel. But now I think the beauty of the teachers now being forced to go online because they not only want to provide education but be very interactive. I feel that Americans can take advantage of this because no longer will you say, well, my child is getting a half-ass education at home. Now my child is getting an interactive, real education with real teachers. And then me as an American, I don't need to pay for college. I don't need to pay for dorms and all this other type of stuff. And my kids are getting, a better education than I would have thought they were getting. So, I mean, I just think that there's certain ways we can look at things in a negative and say, oh, computers and machines. There's certain ways to say, how am I going to use this now to officially cut down my bill? But let my child get the education they want, and maybe they don't necessarily have to take out a $300,000 school loan, but be prepared and be like Andrew, like you and I, and understand how to be nimble and put real life examples to what they're doing, as well as get an education from what I call one of the country's most underappreciated commodities, which are called teachers.
Yeah, you're not alone, or your daughter's not alone. And one of the themes of this time has to be trying to uh, get what value you can without paying full freight, frankly, you know, like whatever you're paying for your daughters. So like maybe there are other ways that you could get that value. And a lot of these institutions are going to be forced to adapt too. I mean, I'm sure your daughter's school is not going to be in this boat, but some of the schools that are closing will not reopen. You know, any school that was close to the edge is going to have a really hard time. So schools have to adapt, teachers have to adapt. If you're a parent or you're a student, you should be trying to adapt too. The biggest thing that you have to do right now is be flexible and adaptable in your thinking. Like you might think I needed to do this because that's what I've been doing and that's what's always been done and it costs this much money. Like you have to try and free yourself to think, wait a minute, like, is there a better way I can actually get this knowledge or get these skills that doesn't involve this price tag?
And
For
that's
better, for worse, yeah.
and that's what and I know that we only have probably about 15 more minutes, but I would love for us to try to give people other actual steps we can give them, because I think that mindset, that power shift mindset you just had, is saying, all right, let's blow everything up. Let's break the norm. Our parents and our grandparents had the luxury of maybe, one person home working, one taking care of the kids, we all go to school, we all go get a job, and we work at this job till we're 50, 60 years old, and we retire, and society has told us that we need to do this. But maybe right now is making people break the mold, and like you just said, maybe they are saying, how can I get the value of an education that I want, and I don't have to pay the same amount of money? Somebody else on here just said, and I think they were a young man, they said, I don't want to go to school anyway because of school shootings. I'm not going to be at risk if I'm home getting the education that I need, right? So what are the other things that Americans can do right now to embrace technology and use it to their, because as much as rise of the machines, as I call it, it's also the rise of people, right? We're starting to understand a lot of times what meant a lot to us if we're mourning right now and see what's going on in the world. We're starting to spend more time with our family, right? We're starting to see who our friends really are, right? We're starting to take care of our health because we're home, and we're starting to take care of those type of things. How can we also become rise of the people where we take advantage of technology for our greed? How can we do that, each individual here?
Well, I read Daymond's book too, and right now the book that's speaking to me is The Power of Broke, where Daymond talks about how when you are scrappy and resourceful, like, you can make good things happen for yourself in a way that you would think, like, oh, you need all these resources to do X and Y, and if you're pushed to a corner, you can find ways to actually take advantage of, let's say, current technology to learn from people like Daymond. One of the fun things about this era is that you do feel like you can actually reach out and get a sense of the mindset of some of the great thinkers, intellectuals, experts, entrepreneurs, artists of this time. It's one reason why I love podcasts so much. I love this Instagram Live, because you actually do get some of someone's thinking. I'm also a really big book guy. Daymond's books are really strong.
But don't talk about, you know what, I want people, put yours up, The War on Normal People. Put your book up really quick, because you wrote this, what was it, 2 years ago?
Yeah, that's right.
The War on Normal People. And I have a little part in there, and you projected something like this in whatever form it was going to come, right? Whether it be
I thought
war,
the robots
whether it be
would send us home. Yeah, I did not think the pandemic would send us
right.
home. But yeah,
Whatever
I saw
form.
it going home.
Right. So I want people to make sure they check that out. And yeah, I think you're saying it right. I mean, what can everyday people do? I told everybody about a woman I know that her son is an attorney, and right now, and for the next 20 years, attorneys are going to be as busy as hell dealing with all the changes going on in the world. And she realized that he was home and he needed help, and so she started to learn how to virtually help. And then she found out that almost all of his attorneys had triple the work, and she got 10 women from her church who all used to be executive assistants and secretaries, and all these women who were a little more mature, maybe they're in their 60s and they didn't want to travel to work anymore. They don't do that anymore. And now they're busier than ever. They put down the cupcakes at the church, and now they picked up the computers, and now they're helping all these attorneys. So they learned how to use it to their best ability. And how can other people on here do that, Yeah,
that's a beautiful story, Daymond, and that's really the whole mission, is to try and find someone you can help, some kind of need. And sometimes that need has a clear dollar value attached to it, like where you think, ooh, like if I help these people, like I'm gonna save them money and then create a business. Other times you help people and it doesn't seem like there's any money attached, and there is no money attached. And then other times you help someone and it seems like there's no money attached, but then something does end up coming out of it that ends up helping your business, or get you a line on a role that you can play. So I think the big mission for people right now is just to try and find ways that they can add value, whether it's to a business, an organization, cause, your neighbor, just like helping someone. Because right now, the tough part of this time for so many of us uh, is like you get isolated, but it also feels like it's harder for you to add value, feel important, feel connected. And one of the best ways you can feel connected and build those networks is just to help somebody. And it may look like, well, helping someone, like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm trapped in my home. I'm like worried about the future. Like, who the heck can I help? We can all help
Right.
somebody, even if it's like saying, like, hey, there's this story I think I need to share, or checking in with someone that you care about. One of the things that's interesting about this time, I think, is that like the more you do, the stronger you feel, the stronger you get. The less you do, like the more adrift you feel. And it's
Yeah,
tough when
a body at
you're
rest
isolated.
stays at rest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it's like, and it's hard. I know, like, you wake up. It's one reason why I'm grateful just to have, like, because Damon and I probably have like, you need to get showered and get dressed just because you're gonna hop online or go on TV or something. But in the absence of that, it'd just be easy to be like, all right, no one's gonna see me today. So it's what Damon said, sort of like tends to stay in motion. We just have to try and stay in motion. And what that means in this phase is just seeing how you can add value, contribute something, and then that's going to end up leading you towards a stance where you feel like, okay, like I have a lot I can contribute, and that's going to lead to opportunities either for yourself or for whoever you're trying to help.
Well, thank you, man, Andrew. I just wanted to. I know that our schedules are both busy, and I wanted to take time to talk to you because, I know that. Listen, I think some of the things you said is true, and I think that you reflect that. You came out and you opened up, Venture for America because you wanted to help people, and where did that take you? That took you all the way to being an ambassador for president, and then actually, going to be president because people believed in your story and they believed in your mission to save people and help them in this very ever changing time. So I think that being a child of an immigrant, you have two sons, and you have obviously you're married and you're going through all the same things that we're going through. I think it's important for people to know that people like you exist, and that you didn't get into the world of just all the staying on all the other rhetoric. You were just really out there trying to save the people. And even though you may run again, I don't know, but I think that there's so many lessons from people to learn from you, so they're prepared now. And when this happens again, in what other form it's going to happen in, we don't know. But I keep repeating myself. There was the dot-com bubble crash, then 9/11, then the '08 crash, and now we're here. Every 10 years, 7 to 10 years, something's going to happen. I want people to be ready for it.
Well, you're one of the people that helps folks realize their dreams and get ready and stay ready. And I got to say, Daymond John's like not just a great entrepreneur, but he's a great human being. Like when I was running Venture for America, Daymond came to help. He spoke to our aspiring entrepreneurs multiple times, did not have to do it, just did it because he thought it was the right thing to do. And that it's just about projecting those kind of values out into the world. It ends up making you an awesome builder in some, like in many, many situations too, man. Like I'm a huge fan of yours. I think you're
Well, I appreciate
like
it,
one of the great role models of this era. And you're also real. Like, I've hung out with Daymond in various circumstances. First couple times I hung out with him, I mean, he was a TV star. Like, no one had ever heard of Andrew Yang. So down to earth, just like really, really sound, high character, present. Like you're just an awesome human being, man. I'm like thrilled to consider you like a colleague and friend.
Well, thank you, brother. I really appreciate you, and I wanna just wish you all the best, man. I know I've been seeing you out there in the press. Keep doing your thing, and I got to close out with one last thing because I know you got to go. I got my power round questions, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, fire away.
All right. What power shift are you making in your life during quarantine?
I'm trying to regulate my own screen time because the fact is, like, I could be on screens all day. I need to get those glasses that screen out the blue light because the screen
Uh,
makes you think it's daytime.
yeah.
So my power shift is to try and power off so that I could.
Power down. I get it. I get it. Get your own personal time. You know, get back to who you are, right? Next one. What superpower do you wish you had?
Definitely teleportation because then I could just freaking like come in and out. I could see my niece. I might be able to see my parents because like I haven't even met my niece. She's like freaking 8 months old. Like what a drag.
Uh,
I mean that's terrible. Anyway, I mean there are people in much worse circumstances than that. But yeah, teleportation for sure. If I could teleport with stuff in my hands, I would just teleport PPE all over the place to places that need it, like Louisiana,
exactly.
Mississippi.
Exactly. The next question. Do you have the answer to why they call a driveway and a parkway? Because you park in a driveway and you drive on a parkway. Do you have an answer to that?
That is way over my head. If you ever find out the answer, definitely let me know.
Well, I have another one very similar. Why do they call an asteroid, and hemorrhoid a hemorrhoid? Isn't that supposed to be reversed?
Uh, that I think it's the way it's supposed to be, because hemor I think is like Greek or Latin for blood. So like
But I
that's
thought
that's what it is.
asteroids in the hemisphere, so that should be hemisphere like an asteroid, and hemorrhoids on your, you know.
Check it out, man. Hemo is blood, like hemoglobin. Hemi,
Okay.
like hemispheres with an I is half. So you had it right. But if it was like,
All right.
because the way it's
Okay. All right.
pronounced, it sounds like
Thank,
hema.
th- thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate that.
Hey,
What would you
can
rather?
you sense what a fucking nerd I was, David?
And would you rather cuddle with a baby panda or a koala bear?
Oh my gosh. I have to say panda just because they're more rare and whatnot, right? I mean, I think both of them would like claw you up though, because like neither is a really good idea. Like they seem cuddly, but I think both of them could actually do damage.
Well, I do want to share a random fact with you because I know you're a geek and I'm an animal lover. You know the way the koalas feed their babies? They
No,
actually poop in their mouth.
no.
I do. I'm not joking. That's not a joke. So I'd probably rather hang out with a baby
Panda. The
panda.
panda gets
Yeah,
another
panda
point.
for the bit. All right, man. Listen, man. Stay good. Stay safe. Keep
Thank you.
educating
Hey,
people,
Damon,
brother.
I just launched a brand new podcast yesterday. I'll send you an invite to come on. We can continue this conversation. And then anytime you want
And
to do
what is
this,
it? What
right,
what is it called? What is it called?
the podcast is called Yang Speaks, and it's right now #8 on Apple. It just launched yesterday.
All right. Yang Speaks, everybody. Make sure that you check that out and check out my man Andrew Yang 2020. That's how you find him on all platforms. And please keep following him because he's going to help you. I learned from him and so many other people have. All right, Andrew. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, man. Stay safe. Miss you,
You
Damon.
got it. Thank you.
Later, bro.